Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Jessica. This is my husband,
Anthony.
and today we are starting the Warriors for Christ series. So, what we are going to talk about today is how to stay motivated. Basically, how to stay motivated, serving the Lord, motivated in Christ, and all that fun stuff. So, do you want to go first?
No, you go. I talk too much.
Well, maybe it's better you go first.
No, you go first.
Okay. So the way I stay motivated serving God.
I think mine's completely different. That's why.
Okay. So the way I stay motivated serving God is basically when I get up, I pray, I talk to God, and I read my word, and I listen to worship music. For me, it's just a lifestyle change. I don't feel like I get unmotivated. I think I know enough of my word to know that I want to live for him and to know how good he is in what he's done in my whole life. I think that's what motivates me is knowing his goodness, knowing that he has grace upon my life, knowing that he has mercy, knowing that I can fall daily and that he will continue to pick me up and dust me off and forgive me and keep it moving, and he won't ever, wrong me. And he's been so good. And I think the goodness of God is what motivates me, to keep serving him, for what he's done for me, but not only me, what he's done for my husband and what he's done for both of us as a couple, what he's done for our friends and our family, that, we've seen the work of God in everything, and I think what motivates me is getting excited, getting excited for today, what today's gonna bring, getting excited because what he's doing in our life, and it's just it's I don't need a cheerleader, I don't need a cheerleader to pump me up. It's just knowing what God has done in my life and what God is still doing in my life, and what he can do in my life, and that's what motivates me is the goodness of God, and nothing else. It's nothing, other than, like I said, reading, praying, and listening to worship music. Worship music gets me going all the time, especially fast worship music, but even the praise worship music, it's just like the words to the songs. It's like the goodness of God. If I listened to other music that wasn't, about God, I wouldn't be thinking about God, and it wouldn't motivate me to, get closer to him. It would probably motivate me more to going to the clubs or drinking or doing whatever, and so I don't listen to that music. To each his own. That's just me. That's all me, nobody else. I'm not saying that for anybody else but me. But I think that's what motivates me is knowing, first off, that he woke me up in the morning. He got me on my way. I'm alive because of his grace. I'm alive, and just seeing everything, the goodness and everything that he is, and that's what keeps me motivated, serving him, living for him, literally living for him, and knowing who he is, digging deeper in his word to get to know him more and more every single day. You know, you can't just crack your Bible open, read a couple of scriptures, and say, I know who he is, because you really don't. I'm sorry to say it, but you really don't. You have to really read your word, study it, you know, get in it, seek him, and pray. Get in your prayer closet, pray to him, talk to him, worship him, you know, and you're going to get to know him a lot better, and your life will be so much better. So that's what motivates me. Your turn.
Good job. Good job. Well, I think there's a few things that motivate me. I can't really put my finger on any particular one, except for one. And the one thing that motivates me the most is reverence. Because, but with having reverence is understanding that he is God. And because the reverence is a fear of the Lord, which is not literal fear, but it's a respectful fear. Putting him in his place, knowing that he is almighty and that he is the king, he is the Lord, he is the master, he is the one, there is no other. That keeps me motivated, and I think the reason why that keeps me motivated is because he can do anything he wants, and I am at his mercy. And you know, for times, for example, if I'm feeling lazy, I know his mercy and his grace is not punishing, and he's not going to get mad because I don't get up and read and pray like I should. But you know, when I don't, I know because he's God, he deserves my respect. He deserves for me to put him first at all times. So I think that starts with my motivation. And the other thing that motivates me is the revelation, because some people can utter it with their mouth but have no comprehension what it meant for him to die on the cross. And that's the second thing that motivates me, is the fact that he died on the cross. He took the punishment, you know, for, if you've never studied the inhumane things of humanity at that time, you know, I suggest you might start there, of how he died on the cross. And he, most people think well, most people don't know why they hung people on crosses back then. And if you study that, you'll find out that it was a horrible death. They didn't die by bleeding out or anything like that. They basically died of suffocation because they couldn't hold themselves up no longer, and they would break their legs so that they can suffocate and die. So, you know, of course, before that happened, because he was a pure sacrifice, he let his spirit go. But the details of what he went through from the moment he got arrested to the day he resurrected is what motivates me. Because no matter what I go through, no matter what I can be thinking I'm going through, it really doesn't compare to that. Because when he was going through that, you know, when he got arrested, there's anxiousness. You know, when he couldn't get out of it and he knew it was going to happen, there's hopelessness, and you know, hopelessness brings depression. And you know, in his natural state of mind, all these things were there just in the moments from arresting to resurrecting, which was only 3 days. He felt a number of mental conditions that they call mental conditions nowadays. It's an emotional thing. So he went through the emotional part, and he went through the physical part of being beat up and spit on and disrespected, being the king. So that motivates me when I when I feel lazy, or if I feel a certain way. I try to remind myself, you know, sometimes it's not easy, but you know, we all have our weak moments, and that's the second thing that motivates me, is to remember the cross and the sacrifice, and what I do to act on the motivation. I read, of course. I study, you know, because anybody could read the Bible, but if you don't study it, you're missing a lot, because there's so much background on what's going on that you just will never understand it unless you do a little bit of research. You don't have to do a lot, just a little bit. So reading, of course. I think one thing that keeps me motivated, like she said, was seeing the works of God in my life and seeing the works of God in others. And I kind of like to see the works of God in other people's lives. It kind of motivates me more than in my own life. I think sometimes it's hard for us because we have a struggle with the natural of being I don't know if it's selfish or we just don't recognize it sometimes, that other people can probably recognize it faster and we can recognize it faster than others, but sometimes it's hard for us to recognize the miracles in our own life, simple ones too. So that motivates me. Being a barber, I go to work every day and I run into like people from different ethnic groups and different backgrounds, and some church, some hating church, some never wanting to go to church, and those are the ones that I feel bad for. I have compassion and empathy, and those are the ones that I feel obligated to be ready for every day. Yeah, I have my relationship, but a byproduct of me having my relationship, which means, if you don't know what byproduct is a sort of set of circumstance that comes with it. So because I have a relationship with God, that's, I feel is, whatever, it's reasonable enough for him to bring people my way to reach and to express to them the little bit that he's done in mine and as much as he can do in theirs, especially when they're down and out and having issues, especially issues that I can relate to, that I've gone through. It's easier to relate to them, and it's that's a moment to share God's grace. It's a moment to share his sacrifice and what he can do for anybody. So what helps me stay motivated is knowing my obligation to serve him. And that's a way that I serve him outside of church, outside of the house, is anybody who comes my way, I'm ready to share the news with them. And that's being a servant as part of our duty as Christians, as is written, to always have an answer and always have a word for somebody so that it can encourage them, even for the church people, even for other Christians, to encourage them, always have a word to encourage them, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's pretty much as I can say. I don't want to say everything because I won't have enough time.
All right, you guys. Well, I hope this helps you get motivated to live for Christ, or, to take it step by step.
Hold on. I wasn't done. Did I say I was done?
You said.
Oh, no, I just had something that I wanted to add.
Okay, well, hurry it up.
Worship, like she said, worship. Sometimes when I'm feeling down or feeling, the symptoms of depression or whatever that is, because we'll deal with that later, but I put on worship music, something to lift my mood and take my focus off of what I'm thinking, because it's easy for me not to be motivated. It's easy to be unmotivated when you're dwelling on something you shouldn't be dwelling on. So that's something that I think we all need to work on, but I need to work on it because sometimes it catches up to me. Mm-hmm.
You done?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
For now.
All right, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this series. Lord willing, we'll be posting every week from now on. I know we're kind of behind, yeah. But
holidays too. That Vlogmas.
Yeah, it took a lot.
Took away from this one.
Right. But thank you guys for watching. Please.
We weren't focused. These should have came out before Vlogmas.
Give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
God bless.